Welcome to the 36th episode of the Can Learn Library here at the North Battleford Library. I don't know about you, but if something doesn't quite turn out the way I think it should, I want to try to figure it out or try a slightly different option. I've been experimenting with chalk paint and using stencils on a wooden tray. Here's what one of my attempts looks like. Now, I'm not sure if you can see, this was pink, and I've used a glaze and to make it look distressed, it's kind of, and then inside it says, live for today, dream for tomorrow. And I've been quite pleased with it, so we're going to attempt to do that today in a different color, in blue. Okay. So let's get to it. These are the items that you're going to need to do our adventure with chalk paint. You're going to need your chalked paint, which is Serenity Blue. You'll need a stir stick. Of course, you need the tray. Now, I was able to find these in a group of 5. This was the last one I had left. It's a little bigger than I wanted. Then we've got our stencils. This is the plastic stencil, and this, the one to the right of it, is the adhesive one. And that just peels off and goes back on the white after it's dry. When you're done with it, it makes... Now we've got our group of brushes that we're going to need different sizes, so I've got a collection there. We've got, we need the chalkboard paint because that's what I'm going to put onto the stencils. The next item I'm going to need is a sanding sponge or a sandpaper, just to lightly rough it up a bit for the paint. We've got a clean cloth because you're going to be wiping the glaze off, which, I forgot to show you. So here is the glaze. It's called a smoke glaze, and it's to make it look vintage. So it's going to give it the distressed look. The next thing that we're going to need is our Mod Podge. That's the final clear coating. You can do 1 or 2 coats depending on how thickly it goes on the first time. Of course, your painter's paint, and this little device is great for opening up the cans, and I've got some popsicle sticks that are going to be used to mix, and I'll be able to throw them away. Okay, so now we get to do the fun part, and let's get to it. First thing that you're going to do is take your tray and your sanding sponge or sheet of sanding paper and just kind of lightly sand it because you want it to be able to absorb the paint. Just kind of do those edges because they're kind of rougher. You're going to find you're going to see more of your distressed look on the sides because it's more kind of like a solid sheet, so this doesn't show quite the same as your sides will, but we'll just quickly sand this on all the sides. And I'm going to, maybe I should do a little bit to the back, and if you've got a sticker on the back, make sure you take that off. So I'll just quickly take this sticker off. Luckily it came off, no problem. I'm going to just take a different cloth and just kind of wipe that because I don't want what I've sanded, although I wonder how much it would really go in the paint. But there we go. Okay, so we'll just set this down. You're not going to need the stencils right away because we're going to paint an entire coat onto this. Now you're going to only be able to do, of course, the the front and then have to let it dry, and then the back. Okay, so I did forget to mention, I have something that I will rest this on so that it kind of dries, and then when I flip it over, yeah. So we'll just put that on top there. I think I've got it clean. Now, it's gonna look kind of oily, your paint, a bit. That's why we've kind of got to mix it, and you can't mix it with, you know those mixing machines that they have for paints, especially when you do different colors and stuff. Yeah. Can't do that with this kind of paint. So we'll just take this off. And because I'm doing a large area, I think I'm going to use a bigger brush. So, just so it doesn't take too long. So there, we'll put that there. We're going to mix this. And like I said, that one was pink, and we're going to do blue. So this is kind of a, it's almost like a teal to me rather than a regular blue. I'm going to just mix it up here. There we go. Just try to get as much as I can off this. Let it rest on here. Oops, getting it on the paper. There we go. All right. Well, maybe I should use this bigger one. Oh, it's good to have choices. So I'm just going to give this a coat. And you're going to find that it's a fairly thick paint, so it's pretty forgiving. If you do want to do 2 coats, that's up to you. It'll all depend on how this covers for you. I got these paints at the co-op, but I'm sure any hardware would carry them. Now, I'm not sure if you can see, but see how it's covering it very, very nicely. So I'm going to finish painting this side and let it dry, and then we'll have to be back to do the back side. So, all right. Now, I've tentatively put this, you'll want to center your saying, and I'm going to do one side with the adhesive one. I'm going to put I'm going to tape those down. I don't have to tape the adhesive one. So I'll just wanted to show you a little close up because it's kind of hard to see inside the tray. Okay. Okay, so I kind of showed you that I just kind of put that central. So I'll just put some tape around here. And these adhesive ones, you just take them gently off like this and place them where you want. It's nice because you don't have to worry about them moving around the way this plastic one does. I had got these stencils in one of the 3 crafts places like Dollarama, Dollar Tree, and Dollar Store. They're relatively cheap. It's just have to check each one because sometimes somebody has one, sometimes somebody else, one of the other stores. So, okay. So anyways, I'm yibbering on. So we'll tape this down. Now you're going to want probably a finer brush because you're not going to, got to make sure that you cover the exposed areas. So I'm going to take my chalkboard paint and use one of my little popsicle sticks. And you got to remember that try to take it off as soon as you're done painting all the exposed areas because it's better for it, and try to lift it straight up, which can be a feat. So far I've done okay, but you watch, just because I'm filming this, it might be a different story. So anyways, I've mixed this up really need something to protect your area because it can get messy. All right, so I'm going to cover this. When I've looked online, like I was looking at Amazon and Michael's, some of these sayings and some of these stencils are quite a bit more money than what I was finding at the dollar store. Of course, you have more choice, but yeah, it's all, I guess, depends on what you want to spend. So, just to make sure all those little areas are covered. And I probably should be wiping off on the plastic one, because you can't really wipe it off the other ones. I think it just can't take that. But the plastic one I probably should wipe off, because one of these days it's going to flake where I don't want it to flake. So, but anyways, we'll get this done. And depending on how thick you make your paint on here, it's got to dry very well before you put the glaze on to distress it. So I try not to put it in huge globs. So just get this, hopefully it's going to turn out okay. I find a person has so much more time now to do different things because you're not out and about, and luckily the stores, you can still get the items that you want to do crafts with or baking or whatever you're into. So I'm going to just finish this here because I want to take it off, just show you. Just set that down here. So just carefully take our tape off. Hopefully it's not going to be, it's going to still be readable. Tape is sticking to me. There we go. All right. Try to lift it up as straight as I can. So I'm going to take it from the ends and up. Now it looks like it did pretty good, except for maybe the 4. Yeah, it's got a middle thing, but I'll just show you here how that turned out. So you can read it pretty good. Yeah, and I would advise if you have a plastic one, I think I will have to wash it. So now I'm going to do the adhesive one on this side. Now it's up to you if you want to put it the same thing on this side. I found some different ones, a feather, I don't know. If you're doing anything for kids, I found some animal ones that were really cute. But, well, let's get this part done. So take this, just paint it. Just trying to make sure it's all covered. Sometimes when you've got lots of little places it can hide, if you do get a little bit off the edge, one thing about the distressing part, hopefully you can maybe hide that. But the distressing is really quite neat. I remember when I first started seeing that kind of stuff, I thought, oh, I don't really care for that. But the rustic look seems to be really big, and it kind of grows on you, I think. about done. I think the drying is what takes the longest in all these parts, but there's no glue, so I'm happy. No waiting for glue. Okay. Just a little bit more. Double check that I've got it all. Okay. So I take this off. Oops. This actually turned out pretty darn good. So I think maybe what I'll do is I'll kind of let that one dry a bit. What do you think? Do you think I need to do the other side, or could I get away with it? I don't know. Well, I gotta wait for these ones to dry anyways, and so do you. So, okay, we'll see in a little bit. Okay, this is what it looks like. I think I'm going to just leave the other side blank. So now we're going to apply the glaze or stain or whatever you want to call it, and wipe off. So I'll just go behind. All right, so we've got our, it's called a smoke glaze. That's the proper word. Okay, so I'm going to just open it up and give it a quick mix. So there's a quick mix. I've got my cloth ready to go. I think I'm going to use a little bit bigger brush because this glaze is very, very runny. So I'm going to just do a smaller section just to kind of give you an idea what that looks like. So you're going to see the difference on the other side, what this looks like. All right, so now taking my cloth, I'll just show you here, just kind of wipe it off. And it'll all depend on how much you want to wipe off. And again, I'm sorry to say, once this is on, we've got to let it dry quite a bit. So if you're seeing here, that's kind of, it darkens it up. You can still kind of tell that it's blue, but yeah. So that's it. So I'm going to finish staining this or glazing it and wiping off, and then I'll kind of show you what that looks like, and then we've got to let it cure or dry, and then we'll be able to put the clear coat on it once it's taken effect. So I will finish this up and kind of give you an idea what that looks like. Now you can see that it's dirtied it up. Ooh, it looks like I missed a spot. Well, that's one thing, I can fix it when I go off camera. You will find some parts of it won't take the glaze very well, and I think that's the glue that, when they glue these pieces together. So I'll fix that up, let this dry, and then I'll do the back side, and then I'll show you what I do to apply the clear coat. Thanks for your patience. Oop, upside down. Okay, so this is how it looks on the front, on the back, and as you can see on the sides, it's kind of a little distressed. I found I had a little bit of drips that I missed, so I just kind of sanded them off a little. You're going to find it's going to look different each time with the different wood. But now I'm going to clear coat it, and we will have to let it dry again. So, okay, so we're going to do this first part. So again, I'm going to take a bigger brush to do this, but first I'm going to open my Mod Podge, which says it's hard coat, water-based sealer, glue and finish, and it's really great for wood, paper mache, glass, terracotta. It's non-toxic, quick build, hard finish for furniture, water resistant. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to mix it with my popsicle stick, which is here somewhere. Oh, there you are. Okay, so I'm going to just mix it up. Now I've realized that my brush may not fit in the top. Okay, well, fortunately, I brought along, these work good too, your foam brushes, because I could have poured it out, some of the glue and stuff, but I hate doing that because you never know how much to pour out. So I'm going to just liberally cover the surfaces with this glue, and I'll show you what it looks like after it's done one coat. And like I said, it's up to you what you want to do. If you want to put 2 coats on, if that makes you feel safer about using this. I probably would put 2 coats on because I don't know, I just seem to like the finish better, but I won't make you watch all this because this is time consuming and you'll have your own fun if you try it. Okay, so I'm going to get this part done, then I've got to do the back, and then the final product I will show you. Okay, so I'm hoping you can see okay. This is the final project after one coat. So if I'll just show you the back here. Oops, a little bit of lint left. But that's kind of how it looks. So I'm hoping that you enjoyed watching this, and I hope that you will try your experimenting with chalk paint, stencils. I find it very rewarding, and if you remember, I had the pink one as well that I did at home. So it's just really kind of fun to create. So that's all the time we have left for the Can Learn Library. See you next time. Take care.